Good morning. It's your girl here. How you living? How you living? Today we are doing, other words, we are doing sewing our signatures in our journal cover. And how we're going to do this, I want to try to make it as simple as possible. And I think most of everything that I do is simple. So we are going to take our journal cover. Well, first, what you're going to need is a ruler if you want to use it. I do, kind of, kind of. You need a pokey tool, and I can't find my pokey tool, so I'm going to use this needle. You need pen, and you're going to need some cardstock to make a template. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to take your cardstock, and you're going to measure how big your journal cover is, your spine. And you're going to try to make it as even as possible. Um, so I made mine probably a half an inch wider than the cover itself. And mine is about, I don't know, almost 2 inches, I would say. Almost 2 inches. So you want about a half inch extra on the other side. So then I like to take my template and I like to kind of crease it a little bit. And I just use the journal cover for this because you want to have this almost perfect to your spine. And so this is how big my spine is. This is my overlap. And it's easier to do it using your journal cover. Now you want to take and you want to measure, um, not measure, but you want to kind of try to find the halfway mark in your cup on your little template here. And you want to make sure that, like I said, that it's semi-even. Okay. So our cover is, like I said, almost 2 inches wide. So this is a side and this is a side. And I do that so I can actually see better of where I want my marks. So I'm going to put this one at 1. Then I'm going to go up, no, I'm not. Yeah, I guess I am. Because that's about the 4-inch mark. And then I'm going to measure out the other one. I want to have them about the 4-inch mark. And then I'm going to put one down here at the bottom, almost to the end, but not really. Leave a little gap. And then I'm going to put this one here and here. So these are the holes you're going to make to sew in your signatures. Now, get your pokey tool and just poke a hole through it. And that is all you have to do with that. Now, you need your journal cover. Okay, you need the journal cover, and I'm going to clip this so it doesn't move when I put holes through my spine to sew in my signature. Now I'm using my beading pliers to hold on to this and push it through because my hands aren't strong enough, and this journal cover is kind of tough to get through. So just make your hose. Lord, I can't see. That way you know where uh, when you sew your cover in, your signatures in, you have a guide. You know where it's supposed to go. My goodness. And you don't have to fight with getting the needle through. Just makes it easier to go ahead and have the hose already put through the spine and your signatures. I used to do it to where I just wouldn't make a guide, wouldn't poke holes, and I just sew right through, and it didn't look horrible, but it was just a little wonky, a lot wonky. So this is how I do it. So we have our hose poke through. I know you can't see it real well, but I can, and you will when you do it to yours. Get your signatures, and you want to, well, that middle page isn't gonna hold. Take your template, and you want to line the first set of hose up with the center of your signature. And take a needle. Now you can get a book and set this on, and then poke your hose through. I don't have a book to do that with. Because I just don't, surprisingly. Alright, I need to line these holes back up. And then do that with the bottom. Again, you can clip this in to make sure it stays straight. I don't have a thing clipped long enough for that. Now, the one thing I use to sew in my signatures is embroidery thread. And we're going to sew the first one in, and then I'll do the other one off camera. Oh, great. My thread is tangled. Okay. Get your thread. You need quite a bit. You can measure it out, but just make sure it's long. There's a lot there. I am using this needle to sew in my signature. Get your cover. And you're going to line this up. All right, guys, here we go. You're going to go in the middle hole. Ow. Boy, I am just not back 100 today. go in the middle hole first and make sure everything is the way you want it. The wording's going the way you want it and all of that. So go through the center hole, pull your thread through. Now you want to keep a decent amount so you can tie it. And then you want to go through the top hole of your cover. If I can see it. You know, I don't know why I'm not wearing my glasses. And then you want to go through the top hole of your signature. I'm going to turn it like this so I can see it. It just doesn't want to go through. Okay. Thank goodness. Pull your thread through, and then you want to go down to the bottom one. This is a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, and it's really simple to do. Through there, and then go through your bottom one. Okay. Oh, oh, oh. Pull it through. Make sure the thread is not getting all caught up, wrapped around pages and all of that. Okay, now you want to take this and go through the middle hole again, the first one you was coming out of. And then you want to go through that, all of it, the cover and the signature. Let's pull it through like this first. And now take it through your signature, all your papers on your signature. Oh my goodness. Sometimes this is the most difficult part. And it is for me today. So if you have to take it through one sheet at a time, that's fine. Do whatever it is that you got to do to make it work. And leave it to me today for this to be difficult. Sometimes it's more difficult than what it needs to be, ladies and gentlemen, but you make it work. All right. So once you get that through, your signature, stop running the needle into your finger. All right. Now, you need to make sure that your signature is good and tight to, ow, man. Ooh, I did. I ran there right in there, boy. Ouch. Okay, you need to make sure that everything is tight. So, And since I ran that through the thread, I need to take that back through. There we go. Okay. Now, make sure you have a thread on each side of the center line, because that's what's going to hold it in. Make sure this is good and tight, but not super tight, you guys. You don't want to pull it through your paper or break your string. And then just do a couple regular knots. Like that, and then cut your string. Now you can have this longer and add some beads at the bottom, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to cut it right there. Okay, that was more difficult than what it should have been. But we do have the first signature in our journal. Let's do the second one. We're going to do this on camera. Take your signature. This is the way I like to do it. I'm going to put them up next to each other, and I'm going to clip it. So this signature is clipped to this one. So when I go to sew this in, it's going to stay good and even and put together and stay where you want it. And then you are going to get you some more thread. And we're going to try to do this a little bit better than what we did the last one. Because that was complicated, wasn't it? It looked like I had no idea what I was doing. Honestly, sometimes I don't think I know what I'm doing. Alright, good amount of thread. Let's move this stuff over. Now, I like to take this and turn it. That way I can see what's going on. I'm going to take and I'm just going to put my needle through. The signature. Oh my goodness. Alright, so I've got it through the signature. I'm going to pull my thread to where I have a little left to cut it. And then I'm going to go through my spine. And then pull it through. Like that. And then I'm going to go through the top hole. Why don't I put my glasses on? Let's try something new. What do you know? I can see. So, put it through the top hole on your spine. And I'm going to go ahead and just pull it on through. And now I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it through my signature. As soon as I'm done tangling it up. And then it's going to go through my signature. Without going through my finger. That would be so awesome. Okay. And then I'm going to push it all the way through. And then you're going to take it through the bottom, go through the bottom hole in your signature and cover. And use my pliers because my hands, I can't push it through with just my hands. Okay? And then you're going to take it through the bottom hole in your cover. Okay, I'm going to turn it like this so I can get it through. And then pull the needle all the way through. So you go through the middle, the top, and then you go down to the bottom one. So let's open this up and I'll show you. You go through the middle, then you come up to the top, come all the way down to the bottom, and then come through the center again. So let's go through the center one. First, we're going to go through the cover without getting it tangled up. And then we're going to go through the signature again, the middle hole in the signature, right? Now, remember to pull your thread. You don't want it too tight, but tight enough to where it's good and sturdy. Okay, and then I'm just going to do a couple little knots here just to make sure that is good and held together. Again, don't pull it too tight because you'll break your thread, you'll rip through your papers, and that would be so sad if you put all that work in just to rip through your papers and have to do another signature. All right, guys. So now our signatures are sewed into our journals. I hope that was self-explanatory. You guys, I I hope you seen what I was doing and I explained it well. If not, I am so sorry. But I will, what I can do, I know what I'll do. So your signatures are sewn in. So let's set this to the side. We are going to use this piece of paper. And I will show you on this. When you sew your signature in for a 3-hole pamphlet, you go through the middle hole to the outside. Okay. Then you want to go through the top hole and you're going to pull it through. Then you are going to come down to the bottom hole and go through it. Oh, like that. And then you're going to go back through the center hole And you want to have a string on each side of this center line and pull it through. So it looks like this. And then you make sure that you pull it to where your signature is good and secure. And then you're going to tie a knot. And then you're going to tie another one. And then you will cut your thread. Again, I'll show you one more time on this. You go through the center. No. You go through the center. Go through the top. Go through the top. Go through the bottom. Go through the center. If I can see it. Go through the center. A string on each side of the line. And then you are going to make sure they're pulled good and tight. Your signature is secure and not loose. And then you're going to tie it. And then tie it again. And then cut your thread. And that is how you do a three stitch pamphlet stitch, 3-hole pamphlet stitch to sew your signature in. So let's pull our journal back over. And this is what mine looks like. Oh my goodness, strings everywhere. So as you're looking in, you have that beautiful paper, which is perfect. That turned out great. I'm glad I used that. You open it up and you have your signatures. And I really like it. Now you got this little part here. This could be like a little tuck spot. We're going to work on that next. I really like this. I love the different colors of the ink that I used for this journal. Them papers really look cool. And when you have like this here, don't worry. We're going to fix that to where you'll have writing space. So here we are, and there's the center. I love this little part here. I have such an amazing idea. I think it's amazing to add extra writing space. So there is that signature, and look, you got this big old pocket here. When you open this bag up, look at that. You could put all kinds of goodness in there. And then our other signature, we have that piece. I don't know where that come from, but okay. So, yeah, look at that. Don't that look cool? Freaking awesome. And then you got that. So there is our two signatures sewn in. And now, guys, we are ready to move on to embellishments. And I'm excited about doing this, but I'm really nervous about doing this because embellishments are not my strong point. I could throw a cover together. I can do signatures, but me personally, I don't think I'm very good at doing embellishments. So, but I'm going to do it anyway because it's about stepping out and doing something different, and practice makes you do better. So, anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed these last two videos of doing the signatures. Again, I hope I explained it well. I hope I did. If you have any questions, comment down below. Let me know. I hope I explained it clearly. So, thank you again for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this. Again, the next we have is embellishments, and I can't wait to make pockets and envelopes and tags and all these different things. So, thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe down below if you like this kind of content or just anything. I do a little bit of everything on my channel. So, thank you again for watching. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye.